What's up, everybody? We are back. Welcome to the KVN show. What I need y'all to do is like, subscribe, and comment. Come on, I need that. Appreciate you guys, and let's dive in to the KVN show. What's up, everybody? You know, we are back for another episode of the KVN show. Back straight from the plane. Wanted to chat with you guys because I feel like I have so much on my mind from the game. So excited after the game winning, getting back to 5-5, division win on the road in a tough environment. I don't care what the Browns' record is. They are a good football team. That defense they got over there is elite with that man-child of a human over there, Myles Garrett, and boy, oh boy, did they put up a fight tonight. There's so many things that went on in that game, and, you know, I'm sure Ravens fans, and I feel like a lot of Ravens fans should take a deep breath, right? Like, I guarantee you 5 weeks ago, you were 1-5 and you would have done everything to be 5-5 in that moment. But it seems like, you know, we want to have perfection. And I understand that. As players, we want to have perfection. But sometimes after a dub against a division opponent that we haven't swept in a long time, you got to be like, you know what? I got to smell the flowers for a sec, you know? And as players, we got to smell flowers just for a sec. Just for 24 hours, just for these 24 hours, we get to enjoy victory. We get to enjoy a victory Monday, but we won't relish in it. We won't bathe in it because we know there's such a long road ahead of us, and it's 1-0 every week. That's the mindset. That's the mindset we got to continue to have. We just got to keep with that mindset that's been working for us, and it's truly the case. We haven't won nothing yet. It's 5-5. There's still a lot of things to correct. This game was a grimy game, and it felt good to win a grimy game. I mean, I can't think of the last time, if I've ever been here, we had 3 turnovers on offense, didn't perform the way we wanted to on offense. Defense was stymie and grimy the whole game, getting stops, you know, had a couple times where they got field goals, but all in all, when you look at the scoreboard and you see us with a W, that's what I'm talking about, especially in a game like that where it was, you know, it was not perfect. It wasn't pretty, especially on offense. Those guys were grinding. That is an elite defense over there. And I can't say enough of how good Myles Garrett is. I mean, he's a freak of nature. I think, to me, he's the best player in football right now. He should be number 1 on everybody's list when it comes to rushing the passer, just being in the MVP category. I really think if, you know, their team was probably a little bit better, he would be, but he is playing like an MVP type of caliber player this year. It is impressive. And I'm just grateful we got a win out of that. And let's just go over the big moments in this game. The number one big moment, I got to give this dude a lot of flowers. He's kind of turned into my brother since I've been here, is Mark Andrews. Shout out to him for breaking the receiving yard record here with the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, what an amazing accomplishment that must be for him. I'm excited for him. Pumped for him, well-deserved, and I'm excited that he got his moment for a split second of breaking that record. You know, guys going up to him and saying congrats, and, you know, pumped for him with that. But the icing on the cake was the 4th and 1. I think it was the turning point in the game. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it takes all the way till the 4th quarter. It could be the last play of the game. Luckily, this wasn't the last play of the game. And we were able to get a huge key touchdown. Mark Andrews keeping the tush-push wrap-around QB sneak. I mean, what an amazing call. Watching it this week, I was kind of like, ooh, that's going to be crazy if they call it. That's going to be crazy. And then I knew when it was 4th and 1 with the game on the line, I knew he was going to call it. And, man, I ain't going to lie. I was tight. I ain't going to lie. But then my dog, I think he hit 20 miles an hour and went all the way for a touchdown. I was juiced for Mark. And, damn it, I headbutted him off after he scored like an idiot. Kind of busted my lip up, kind of bit my tongue. That was dumb, but, I mean, it felt good. Man, Drews, I was geeked for him. And, I thought it was awesome to see the celebration and be there for that moment and all the hard work that went into that game. It was a hard fought game. It wasn't pretty. I can't say that enough how hard it is to win on the road in the National Football League against a division opponent that knows you, that knows what you do, throw away all the tendencies and all that. We know them, they know us, and it's a battle. And that was, I would say, the turning big moment in the game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, the big moment of the game was the fourth down stop the defense had. Draymond Jones, Big Dre, shout out to him, getting traded here from the Titans and then coming in and making a huge impact. I mean, we're going to roll the tape right here because you're going to see him get a hell of a get off. I don't care what anyone says. He wasn't there. He wasn't in the neutral zone. He jumped the count right. He jumped it perfect. It was like so close, bang, bang. And, they were complaining the O-line was like, nah, he got it. Like, be quiet, win the game. But, man, what a play that was with the money on the line for the money. Gets a great get off, makes disruption in there, causes havoc, makes Shedeur process a little bit faster than what he wants, and then is able to, have him make a tough throw and incomplete, game over. And that to me was the big moment on defense. I mean, I feel like we had a lot, but that was like the spike in the game time. And those two moments are winning football. That's what it takes to win those big games. That's what it takes to win on the road. And we realize it's just another game where we went 1-0, and that is awesome mindset to have. It was interesting. I didn't know in the game that Gabriel had a concussion. I actually thought he got benched. I didn't know. I was like, the crowd went crazy. Woo, Shedeur. And, that was a cool moment for him getting his start. But, man, we kind of took, like, I felt like, man, they're really going to throw him against us. And I felt like it was our time to, welcome them. And I feel like we did a good job with what they did when Shedeur went in. And I feel like we got after them up front. Secondary did a great job. My defensive shout outs in this game, definitely Kaham, crash out Kaham, playing unreal. Should be in consideration of the DPOY. Awuzie, Cheeto, he's been hooping. And he hooped again today. Marlon, goes down with whatever he's got going on. Cheeto steps in and playing high-level football. He's been awesome to the locker room. I feel like him and Rowe, I said it last week, best friends. They're always like big broing each other, and it's comedy. And Awuzie, if you want an argument, you can get one in with him, but it's like a fun argument. And then Draymond Jones, hooping, back at home. He's from Cleveland, so it was awesome for him to get to show out for the family he had. I was pumped for him. And then Wiggins, this dude might be like the Brown killer, you know what I mean? Like, Buddy's had, I think, 4 career picks, and 3 out of the 4 are against the Browns. I mean, he likes the Browns quarterbacks, that's for sure. On offense, gotta shout out Mark Andrews, career leader in receiving yards, and he did it earlier in the game. He only needed 4, so he got that out of the way real quick. Derrick Henry had that 59-yard run. It wasn't pretty, like I said, on offense, but just keep it going, baby. Keep it going. And then finally, bam, D-Hen out the gate for a 59-yard run. I feel like Pat Ricard had a good game. Zay had a good game. And then, I feel like somebody we haven't mentioned on this show in a while that deserves a lot of praise, who stepped in after somebody who's a Hall of Famer kicker, is Tyler Loop. Man, what he's been able to do, the consistency, being able to go in them big moments, clutch moments, making field goals, making PATs. He's been unreal this year. Props to him being ready for his moment. And Loop, he's been doing a good job. Shout out to Loop, man. I don't think I'm going to do a player of the game in this one. I think I'm just going to do the defense, because I felt like the defense, we came to play. We had a little chip on our shoulder a little bit, because a lot of the times you hear during the week, the other team's defense all the time, rightfully so. We had 5 weeks that didn't go how we wanted to. So we're not in the rankings that we should be. So you hear a lot about this defense does this defense does that. And it's kind of like, what about us? And we got to go prove it each and every week. We got to go get the trust of ourselves to each other, the trust of the fans to really know we're that type of defense. And, the defense stepped up. Zio called a pretty good game today. I mean, a really good game. And we got after the quarterbacks in this game. And so now I want to go to the next segment is breaking down a couple plays that I had. Because finally, since week 5, I got a sack. Let's go. I heard the announcer said that he didn't even block me. What about me making a really good inside move and beating the tackle because I was fast and I was quick? I feel like I had a really good get off on the play. I had a really good week of practice. I've been studying, working hard, working extra, doing a lot of different things to get the body so that I can play at a high level. Today, I felt like I was able to feel like I was getting in a groove finally. And my get off was pretty good today, and I was happy about getting that sack finally. I just got off, and I feel like it was set up because earlier on when they were in the red zone, I had a really good rush on Conklin where I was able to almost push him all the way back into Gabriel, and I felt like that set up to be able to do an inside move because he thought I was going to come back, same get off, same getting to that point, and then was able to go inside, and that was awesome. And it was awesome because when you get a sack, everybody has to do their job on that. It's not just me doing my part. It's the secondary doing their part, being able to take off the read of the quarterback to allow me to get there. And it's not just me. It's that with every sack. I think it's an amazing team stat as well as an individual stat when you get a sack because definitely need the back end and linebackers or ends or nose tackles, whoever's dropping to do their part. And then the pressure on the pick, that was fire. It was a great blitz called, was free to the quarterback, and that was textbook tackling from me. I'm going to do teach tape on that. I'm going to light brag about myself because I got fined earlier in the season on a hit that I had on Flacco, and it was a lot of money, and I felt like I shouldn't have been fined by that. I thought it was ridiculous. So I've been super careful of hitting quarterbacks now because they took my money for hitting Flacco earlier in the season, and I did the same thing, and as a whole different story, but I got him in the strike zone, rolled off, and I actually low-key kind of hurt myself trying to roll off in midair and landing on the side, and that's the problem I have with, the protection of the quarterback is you also, can hurt yourself. And, it was an awesome pick by Nate. Nate, reading the eyes, I was able to hit him, and as I was hitting him, he kind of didn't get to follow through all the way and make a great pass, and Nate made a play, but Nate, we got to get in the end zone, bro. You were a 4.2 speed at the combine-ish, 4.3, whatever you were. Definitely faster than me. But you need to get in the end zone. If you get your hands on it, get a pick, I need you in the end zone. But I did like Nate's little celly. He was hitting it, though. I like that. That was fire. I don't know if my knees can move that fast. It was all the young boys doing that. But, that was awesome play by Nate. Feels good to win. It does. It feels good to win. Excited about this next week. The Jets at home. I would love to doesn't matter who we play. I would just love to hear the bank rocking. Just flat out cheering, wanting success for the team, being positive, being just ultra into the game where you can just feel the vibration of the stadium of positivity and just high emotion of the whole season and the excitement that's ahead and where we are, just all of that. I want everybody to enjoy the bank on Sunday. I just have a great feeling about what Sunday at the bank's going to bring, and I hope anybody that can get a ticket to it, and I appreciate those that work their ass off, use their hard-earned money to see the Ravens play, and myself, if that's the case. If you're coming to see a game to see me, I take pride in that, and I appreciate you guys, and I want to play super hard for y'all, and I hope we get this place rocking at 1 o'clock against the Jets on Sunday. let's finish the rest. Let's go around the league. I got to watch a couple of games because we had the 4:25 start. I saw the Miami Commanders game in Madrid. That was a wild game. Back and forth, not scoring much, and then goes into OT. Miami end up kicking the game winner. But what was crazy is I felt like the Dolphins could have scored multiple times, and they kept getting stops. The Commanders did, and props to Dan Quinn taking over. That was a crazy back and forth game, and Jack Jones ended up having that pick in overtime to seal it, and then the Dolphins win. Panthers, Falcons, that was another crazy game, back and forth. I felt like Bijan Robinson was getting loose early, but the rookie McMillan, the receiver, number 4, Tet, they call him, had a big game. And then Bryce Young, playing injured, went stupid, 448 passing yards and 3 tugs. He went crazy. Buffalo Bills, big day at the office, put up 44 to Tampa Bay. Felt like that was a back and forth game in the first half, and then Josh Allen turned it around and took it to the crib. Jacksonville versus the Chargers, just a beatdown. Felt bad seeing Herbert, man. I think he got injured in this game, and I looked at the box score and saw it was like 92-yard total passing and like 42 yards rushing. My guy, Coach Campanelli, the DC with Jacksonville, he had them boys rolling today. And it was kind of crazy. Just 135 total yards on offense. Wow. Jacksonville defense went crazy. The Bears versus Minnesota. JJ looked like he was struggling again. Chicago, I felt like they were in control most of this game. Ended up winning. And then I felt like Caleb, so slippery, just getting out of sacks, just avoiding bad situations. And he's able to get out of it. And they squeak away with a division win on the road. Good for them. The Packers, Giants, this game was pretty crazy because Winston brought juice early. They went 7 up real quick. Then Love coming back. Love getting banged up, shoulder. Willis doing his thing, running the ball, getting the run game going. Green Bay's defense stepping up when it mattered most late in the game. Jordan Love scoring TDs, coming back in the game. I also saw that Brandon Jacobs, he left the game with a knee injury. Man, tough. MetLife, man. Let's get some grass. Let's get some grass in that stadium. I feel like every time I watch a game there, there's always stuff going on. Let's get grass, please. Pittsburgh Steelers Bengals game. Definitely was watching this one. My old teammate Kyle Duggar, I think his play really opened up this game. He had a pick 6. Hype for him because I really like Doug. I felt like he was struggling there with the Patriots. I feel like people don't realize how good of a player he is, and then what he's been able to do to help out the Steelers secondary. I feel like it's been kind of the same with Lowe. He's brought that calm presence. He's calm, cool, collected, but he makes plays, and that pick 6 was huge for him. Flacco didn't have one of his Flacco days, and then you had Aaron Rodgers have the wrist injury. Is it fractured? Who knows? But Mason Rudolph came in and delivered. He played a good game. Good for him. And then you saw, I'm not going to touch too much on it because I don't know, but Jamar Chase, Jalen Ramsey, you saw it looked like spit, but we don't know. Jamar Chase said he didn't do it, but who knows? The Houston Texans win against the Titans. I feel like the Titans was winning this game the whole time. And then Davis Mills, he just leads his team to victory. That Texans defense is for real, though. San Francisco beats the Cardinals big time. I start off the game, Sky Moore with that long kick return. Should have scored. He got tackled at the 2. George Kittle went crazy. Shout out to my guy, G. Kittle, balling. Good for him. And then Jacoby Brissett, Arizona Cardinals quarterback, just out there slinging it. Good for him. Rams, Seahawks. This was a crazy game because I didn't watch it, but I saw that Sam Darnold threw 4 picks. It's so hard to win a game when you have 4 turnovers, and they still almost won. 21-19 on the road. Man. And then, I felt like Kyron Williams, when I saw from what I saw from the highlights and whatnot, recapping the game, I feel like he got enough traction, and then Stafford didn't have his best game, but when it mattered, he didn't ended up scoring 2 tugs to help uh, their team win. Then another huge game, the Broncos Kansas City game. Nick Bonito says you still got to go through the Chiefs to win, and they ended up doing that by winning against Kansas City. Huge game. They're in control of that AFC West. Now it's between them and the Patriots going for the 1 seed. It's still up for grabs, but they're both 9-2. Everybody's trying to catch them. Impressive, man. Impressive win by them to really stamp their spot on the AFC. Like, we are here and we're ready to take that next step. And Bo Nix didn't throw any touchdowns, but just had explosive plays and just making plays and, playing tough. And I feel like he always plays Kansas City tough. He always rises to the occasion with them. Good win for the Broncos. All right, let's go to the next segment, the 2-minute drill. Ready, set, go. Where does Miles rank all-time D-line? Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know, but he is up there. That is a really good question, but he's high. I mean, he's a freak of nature. What he's been doing for the last 2 years this season, he had 5 sacks. I think he had 4 sacks in our game. Like, what the hell? What does the defense do when a new QB comes in mid-game? Do you change what you do? No, it depends. Well, yes, it depends. If you got a runner, like, Shedeur is a little more pocket passer, and then he escapes through the back. Versus you get someone like Willis for the Green Bay Packers. He's more of a runner, and more so than Jordan Love. Jordan Love wants to sit in the pocket and dissect and dice. Willis can do that, but he likes to get out on the move a little bit more, and then the run game comes alive with his feet. He's very good with the ball in his hands. How did it feel getting back in the sack column? Oh, it felt so good. It's been since week 5, and I've missed a couple, so it felt real good. How do you decide your weekly fit? That's a good question. Sometimes, lately I've just been doing last minute. I wanted to go for comfort this time around. I felt like that was the right one. I feel like for huge games like Monday night, Sunday night, Thursday night, we put a little suit on. We put a little business suit on. Like, we're ready to go. Let's play the would you rather game. Would you rather get a pick 6 or force a game-winning fumble? I think I would like to force a game-winning fumble because that means I'm winning the game. I don't know if I'm winning the game if I get the pick 6. I'm always going to win the game, baby, because I'm a winner. Would you rather game plan against a QB who's crazy mobile or crazy accurate? Neither. Honestly, I'd rather go crazy accurate. Mobile's tough because you just never know. You never know. Would you rather star in a commercial or make a cameo in a movie? I think I would like to star in a commercial because, like, the Mayhem guy or Dos Equis or Aflac or Discount Double Check that's Lifetime right there. I would much rather do a commercial than a movie. Early thoughts on the Jets. This is the last thing. 2 minute is over. Early thoughts. I was very impressed how they played Thursday night. You can look at the stuff that they did before, but Thursday night, that was without Quinn Williams. After Quinn Williams and Sauce was traded, Glenn is using his guys and who he wants to play. So you really got to go off that. Feel like their defense plays really hard. Offensively, they're trying to run the ball. They got big old linemen, physical linemen that want to hit you, and they're going to be ready to play. They're coming off 10 days rest. They'll be able to practice a little bit more to get better, to prepare versus us. They'll be ready to play. And so we got to come ready to play. They haven't been a cakewalk to any team. The Patriots had a tough one against them on Thursday, took them all the way to the fourth quarter to then finally get some momentum. So they're going to come ready to play. And so we got to come ready to play. 1-0 mentality. Then we got to talk about my alma mater, BYU, because they are still in the mix for the college football. And they had a huge win over TCU to go 9-1. And one thing I'll say for BYU fans and, people is I want BYU to show up in those top 10 moments, kind of like the basketball team did. Not early, but they fought back. And they went down swinging. And I was a little disappointed in the Texas Tech game because I felt like we played scared on offense. I feel like defense held their own as long as they could. I mean, it was 13-0 at halftime against Texas Tech, who's a really explosive team, and we just got no offensive momentum. Then fast forward to this TCU game. It was awesome to see Bear Bachmeier take another step. I mean, he was delivering the ball, throwing good throws. LJ was making plays. I just need more from another receiver besides Kingston and Chase. I feel like the tight end, Carson, stepped up, but I need more. I want to say from Holden or JoJo. He had another drop. I just need more. If they're trying to go where they're trying to go, I need another guy on offense to step up. And defensively, we need to just be better against the run. We're still very good against the pass. Glasgow and Jack Kelly and a couple of those young bulls up front get after the quarterback pretty well, but we need to get more consistent pressure and just continue to get the ball. I mean, Wall had a pick six at the end of the game. That was dope. Shout out to him. He's been playing good when he's been in there. And we just got to keep it rolling. You know, going into this Cincinnati game, this needs to be treated like a playoff game. It really does. We're going into a hostile environment. They're coming off a loss. They are going to be pissed off. And BYU needs to be pissed off because I feel like they're getting disrespected and they need to act like it. They need to act like a championship caliber team. But what better way to show the world? They'll be on Big Noon Kickoff again. And what better way to show the world who they are by going into a hostile environment like they got and taking over their trap. Let's go, Brigham. Let's get a dub. That is the end of the show. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, and comment. And please, if you want me to talk about something in the next KVN show, please put it in the comments. Please, I love to hear what you guys got to say. Thank you. And I appreciate everyone watching. Love y'all. Peace and love.